So hello and welcome to our fourth lecture in mastering ComfUI for image generation course by techlatest.net. So far we had covered a lot of things like course overview, objectives, then about ComfUI, stable diffusion, and like course overview, objectives, outcomes. So now in this lecture we'll cover setup installation of ComfUI on AWS, basically Amazon Web Services. Like we will deploy VM from Amazon Marketplace, which is provided by techlatest.net, and also tell about the key features of the VM, then benefits and other things. Then we'll run ComfUI user interface and generate some images also. Then tell about the CPU and GPU instance, like what are the benefits of GPU and what are the benefits of CPU, and then about the quota increase thing. So let's get started. Okay, so go on techlatest.net website, click on product and support page. After this, here you can see in artificial intelligence and machine learning category about the ComfUI product. So click on this product. Here you can find about the GCP deployment guide, AWS deployment guide, Azure deployment guide, and other things. Okay, so if you want to know more about ComfUI, so you can also like go through this VM instruct VM details, like what are the benefits, what are the features with the ComfUI, and then apart from this, you can also check out the comfy.org, basically the main website of Comfy UI organization, and the GitHub repo. If you are open source contributor, so you can go for open source contribution also. Like Comfy UI is fully open source under some license basically, so you can go for open source contribution also. And you can also read here the most powerful and modular diffusion model, GUI API, and backend with a graph node interface. Okay, so let's move to our guide again. So basically we will cover AWS deployment guide. So click on AWS deployment guide. Here you can see the step-by-step guide of ComfUI stable diffusion AI image generation made simple on AWS. So our first step is open this VM listed on AWS marketplace. Okay, so this is the direct link of AWS marketplace. If you click on this link, so you can redirect to this like VM page basically, which is listed on AWS Marketplace. Here you can see the sold by techlatest.net. Okay, so you can click on view purchase option. Then after this, you have to do some effective date and expiration date formalities. Then click on continue to configuration button. And here you can see the fulfillment option, software version, reason, and other things. You can choose reason according to your reason. You can do configuration according to your needs. Okay, so let's click continue to launch button. Then after this, here you can see the choose action option. So we can choose launch from website. You can also choose launch through EC2 and other things. Then choose instance type. So also check on website about the instance. Okay, so yep, we are good to go for EC2 instance type, which is X2 large. You can also select G4D and X large. Like it depends on your need, like whatever you use. Okay, so now one of the most important thing, for example, if you want to deploy ComfUI on a GPU VM, okay, so like it works very faster. Like if you generate some images, videos, and other things from Hugging Face models, and like from models from Hugging Face, then or even if you generate some videos, audios, and images, so if your VM is deployed on GPU, so like it works very fast, and which is 10x faster than CPU VM, and but it is also costly. So that depends on that totally depends on your needs, like what you use. You use CPU VM or GPU VM. I'm using CPU VM here. Okay, so like the image response and the image generation response is very slow. At like approx it take 7 to 8 minutes, even 10 minutes to generate a single image. Okay, so like depends on you, like whatever you use. For faster response you can use GPU VM, and for slower response you can use CPU VM. That totally depends on you. Then here you can also see on website below are the recommended VM configuration. GPU is G4D and large. For example, if you want to choose instance type here, then here you can see these are some instances like G4D and large is your GPU and other things. So you can choose according to your needs. Okay, and like here you can see the G4 large, G4AD large, X large, anything depends on you. Okay, next thing is For CPU, it's the minimum spec, but more CPU is preferred. For example, if you opt for CPU VM to T2.X large 4V CPU 16 GB RAM is the best option. Otherwise, you can also like and also it is the minimum spec. But more CPU is preferred. Like if you want minimum spec, so like 4V CPU and 4V CPU, then 16 GB RAM is the best, and otherwise you can also like preferred or opt for more CPU. Okay, then you can choose GPU. Same here, like the 4B CPU, 16 GB memory, one nvidia GPU configuration. So that totally depends on you. Now let's move to our next point. Okay, so for note, while deploying the instance on GPU, if you encounter the quota exhaust error, or you are unable to deploy the instance on GPU VM, then please refer to our request quota on AWS cloud platform. Okay, so if you open this link in new tab, so here you can see on this link you can find all the cloud platforms quota details, basically how you increase request quota on Google Cloud, AWS Cloud, GCP Cloud if you want to deploy VM on GPU. So like it is if you face any error like for request quota control, so you can follow this guide. This is a step-by-step guide for all the cloud platforms like Azure, GCP, and AWS. Okay, so you can follow this guide, and this is the direct link of direct link of the guide, basically request quota guide. And then next thing is select the VPC and subnet, and create the security groups and other things. Same we will do in when we deploy any VM. Okay, so select security group, which is default group, then key pair settings. So I am using my old key pair. If you want to create a new key pair, so you can create from here. Then we will select EC2 instance type, we will select VPC, everything, then now click on launch button. After this, you can see that congratulations, instance of this software is successfully deployed on EC2. If you want to like view launch configuration detail, you can view this instance on EC2 control. You can also check the configuration details like the fulfillment option, software version, and reason. Okay, now click on EC2 console button. Then here you can see the VM. Basically, this is the VM overview page where your VM is like the status, and you can find the status of the VM. We will also rename our VM. So our VM name is Comfy VM. So this is my VM name. And if you click on instance ID, so it will open an overview page of the VM, basically Comfy VM. Then here you can see the public IP address, private IP address, your state instance stage is running. Now let's move to other things. Okay, so we are well done with this thing is summary page displays. Now to access the ComfyUI web interface, copy the public IP of the VM from the VM details page and paste it in the browser using HTTP and VM public ID, VM public IP. Make sure to use HTTPS, not HTTP. Okay, so copy the public IP address of the VM. After copying the public IP address of the VM, go to browser and type HTTPS and paste the IP of the VM. Then hit enter. And here you can see the SSL warnings. Then click on advanced and proceed to this IP basically. And after this you can able to view the ComfyUI user interface, and that's basically the user interface of the ComfyUI. Now let's move to our next step. Okay, we will done with the ComfyUI user interface. Now uh, by default the ComfyUI default workflow will automatically reloaded after the start, and here you can see the ComfyUI user interface. You can explore these things. Basically it is a node based user interface, and like we run our VM on CPU, so if you generate some images, so it will take some time also. Okay, so if the interface is blank or default workflow is not loaded, please click on the load default in the right corner menu. Okay, so now you're connected to the ComfyUI. By default the VM comes with SDXL base 1.0 checkpoint. So if you check here, so this is basically the SDXL base 1.0 checkpoint. And then after this, like by default it have some like prompt. By default it have some prompt in the prompt box. Here you can see the clip text encode prompt. Okay, next thing is to get started, provide the prompt. We have already prompt in our ComfyUI user interface. Okay, so next thing is basically uh, once you are connected to create images, simply press Q prompt. Okay, so like let's create click on Q prompt here. So our conf UI process is started basically for generating the image. Then here you can see the 0% conf UI. So it will take 5 to 10 minutes basically to load the image, basic to generate the image. Okay, sorry. Then you can check the extra points option from the option here. Here you can see the extra checkpoints and other things, like you can do settings according to your needs, what you want from uh, like uh, like which prompt what prompt you give, and then like what are the specification you want in images, so you can adjust here according to that. Then the image created from config is stored under home ubuntu setup config output directory on the VM. To access this directory, follow these steps. To access the VM desktop environment, first you need to SSH the instance through putty. For that, copy the IPv address. Okay, so copy the IPv address here, then search about putty. So putty, then paste the IP address, then click on SSH, then click on auth, then click on credentials and browse your private key. Okay, so my private key is Argo CD. I'm using my old private key. If you want to create new private key, so you can create from AWS portal, basically Amazon Web Services marketplace or portal, you can say anything. Okay, then accept these terms, and after this login as Ubuntu. And here you can see that authenticating with public key Argo CD. I may maximize this, so change settings, click on appearance, change this, and maximize this. I'm changing the font of this. Then login as Ubuntu, and you can see that we have connected with our VM, basically Ubuntu. And then after this, let's see, like yep, it is in process now. uh, After this, let's move to our next step. Open putty, paste the IP address we have done with these steps. Once connected, change the password for the Ubuntu user using below command. So you have to run this command for changing the password. So after changing the password, we will connect with remote desktop option also. Okay, so run this command, give new password here, then retype new password here, and you can go to go. You can see here that the password is updated successfully now, and open remote desktop option here. Okay, so give username as Ubuntu and give password which you set up in terminal. Okay, so and click on OK. So here you can see after. Okay, I think I am connected with wrong IP. So close this one and open the remote desktop connection again. First copy the public IP address, then open the remote desktop connection, paste the IP address here, then click on connect and then click on yes. And after this, you will able to connect with remote desktop option. Now click give you username as Ubuntu and password which set up in terminal and click on OK. So after this, you will able to connect with your remote desktop connection, basically the VM, to access the VM. Then let's see what is the next step. We have done this step. Now the password of the Ubuntu user is set, and you can connect to the VM desktop environment from any local Windows machine using RDP protocol, or Linux machine using Remina. From your local Windows machine, go to start menu in the search box and type and select remote desktop connection. In the remote desktop connection wizard, copy the public IP address and click connect. We have done with these steps. Our VM is also started. So let's wait for one more minute. Now you're connected to out of the box configure stable diffusion AI image generation made simple environment via Windows machine. To connect using RDP via Linux machine, first note the external IP of the VM from the VM details page. Then from a local machine, Linux machine, go to the menu in the search box and type select Remina. If you don't have Remina installed on your Linux machine, first install Remina. This is direct link of Remina. If you click on this link and open link in new tab, so you will redirect to Remina page and you can install Remina from there. Then in the Remina desktop client, same, paste the IP address and you can connect, good to go for connection. This will connect to the VM desktop environment, provide Ubuntu as the user ID and password set in the reset pass for above reset password step to authenticate, click OK. So now you're connected out of the box. Config stable diffusion AI image generation made simple environment via Linux machine. From VM desktop, you can access the output images by navigating to the home Ubuntu stable diffusion output directory. Okay, so if you open this, so our VM is also started now, and after this, like please, after this we will like able to set up all the things, and my config images take some time basically to generate the images. Okay, if I again click on prompt queue. So it will take some time, okay, because we run our we run basically VM on CPU. So yep. Then after this, if you want to check the images, so you can go on home and like Ubuntu and set up other things. Then you can go for checking the saved images also. Then next thing is like how use custom models. This is one of the most important step. How to download and use custom models. This guide provides a comprehensive overview of installing models in CompuI VM. Solution provided by techlatest.net. Once your CompuI stable diffusion AI image generation made simple, VM is up and running. You will connect to a VM via SSH to download and use new model checkpoints. By default, this VM comes with SDXL base 1.0 checkpoint. I will again show you. This is the checkpoint. Then to connect using SSH terminal, please follow getting started guide. Once connected to the SSH terminal, navigate to the checkpoint directory using this command, and you have to run this command in terminal. Then there are several channels available to download the stable diffusion model, such as Hugging Face. So go on Hugging Face and then search about model here. For example, we are using in this guide we will download the stable cascade model. Okay, so search about a stable cascade here. First, you can search about stable cascade. Then if click on stable cascade model, and here you can see the stable cascade model. Then click on files and version. Then here you can see the CompuI checkpoint. So open this CompuI checkpoints and like you can transfer this or you can do anything. Then to do so, go to Hugging Face website, open model page. One model page, search from required model in the top search bar. You can also apply different filters. You can like do anything. Then it will open stable cascade model. We have done with the steps on file and version. Open CompuI checkpoint. So this is the CompuI checkpoint here. Here you can see the CompuI checkpoints. Then after this, it will show the list of available CompuI checkpoints. Click on the desired one. You can copy the download link from the page and paste in the below wg widget command to download the model on your CompuI VM. Okay, so like for example, this is basically the cascade model. So you can download this using wget command and you can paste the link and simply download the model. So in this way you can download the model. Then after this, uh, replace URL with your model URL, and then your model is available in the checkpoint directory of the config setup folder. So much cool and like the so much highly realistic and port and like very cool image. Then next thing is let's go over on VM also. Okay, so if you search about this thing here like home Ubuntu and setup, so here you can see the outputs. Okay, so if I hit enter and the output here. Okay, so basically this is the output that we generated on our ComfUI user interface. So that's all about this lecture. I hope you guys like this lecture. Bye bye. We will meet in next video.